back YouTubers to my channel. Right now I'm basically trying to collab up and finish up the mental health series, even though right now I'm going to be touching base on some of the topics that may not have been addressed as of yet, basically, even though that I know some of them may be a touchy topic, but I feel to address them to everyone as well, just to create and spread their awareness, basically, as well as hopefully that despite all this, that this needs to be addressed of this topic that I'm about to share, and that no matter what, that it needs to be shared more often, because obviously many of the ones that I have shared in the mental health series are an epidemic, be it, for example, eating disorders, suicide, depression, bipolar disorder, and the like, and you tend to question the questions, why is it happening, of all this, as well as what causes them, and as well. That's why I'm here to address this to you all right now. We all need to be obviously aware and obviously be prepared for what is to come, regardless of all these warning signs I've been sharing with you all, of all these mental health illnesses that I've shared, so that hopefully that we can help someone in the long run. I know that there won't always be a time to intervene or help someone when we feel that they're pushing us away or whatever, or they may be in denial of what they are actually feeling right now, even if they don't feel that they need the help or what have you. But we need to be, as much as we can, supportive of others. So in order to do this one's obviously, as I'm addressing to you all, as another suicide topic, addressed as why suicide, a death wish sentence. Okay, let's begin. As I'm taking you on a journey right now, growing up as a teenager, for many of us, especially for me, especially today, can be a demanding and scary experiences, as well as with just scary in general, with other mixed feelings and emotions rolled into one, as a roller coaster, or as I call it, the wave of emotions. Yet I am alive and kicking. A few or many teenagers, yet I am few stigmas that is coming into my life right now. I'm trying to remove them, If only I knew more back then to what I know now, though, however, of what's being, shared on with people through YouTube and all these campaigns on TV based on depression, suicide and the like, to actually, basically know that there are help along the way, even though, as I said before, many people should know me, that I'm a bit stubborn and I don't ask for help sometimes, and that I just try to gain my self-independence and self-control back with what I have lost in the past. If I only knew back then also, though, however, the knowledge and research, basically, to what I know, based on that life experiences also, some of it would have changed based on the choices and action I took back then, of that destructive path that would have led me to the, end result of death. Some things, though, in the past might not have changed, either based on the thoughts, ideas, conceptions, and the like, of what was in my mindset, regardless of being blinded through those perceptions and whatnot, of those white lies of, little whispers, I call them, basically telling me that I wasn't worth living, I'm worthless, I'm hopeless, and the like, like anyone would have at that time. I was battling, obviously, as I said before, if you've been watching my channel, like in my early teens, psychosis of all those voices inside my head, basically, and I believe now that I'm getting better, staying positive and actually finding the right support network around out there for me, Yet I did think it doesn't really matter to me in my head, yet I did think it, more to what I know or once knew, and how and what you or I really felt takes over of those voices, if we chose that path to just, feed those voices, regardless what it may be. There are so many times of the day and ways of us feeling that way, of the many ways how we face and deal everyday situations, however, that most of our perceptions, thinking, decisions and choices in our everyday life has its limits, or becomes also limited and restricted. Our perception, thinking, decisions and choices is created over time in biology, by psychology and society. Many people may not agree with this, but it does, of what I've read up so far. These factors or innovative ideas are created into a bubble that encompasses us and surrounds us to the field of what and how we perceive life and the world around us to how and what we know it as, to expand and contract based on our everyday changes we face of the everyday factors which are created and being informed. For most of us though, however, we have experiences the changes of perception from time to time in our lives. However, imagine right now you're driving into town and like you're in the traffic and there's a lot of buses, cars driving in and out, and you get, while you're on that traffic, you get cut off pretty much from that traffic as you're giving way. You feel that you had the right of way, and you see it happening right before your eyes, and you feel the need and have to beep to the horn and cuss and swear at that to the person, pretty much, Obviously, this is what life is like sometimes in our busy lives. But let's face it, basically, this does happen now and again, basically, or from time to time. When this happens to you, what did you feel though when this happened? Could it be your heart rate increasing, becomes faster than normal? You get your face so hot and you become sweaty, you start shaking, go red. What would your response be for that particular opposite person that cut across the road? Would you jam the brakes hard enough just to cause this accident, or to try and avoid the accident? Would this be the right and responsible way? Good question. While all this is happening, you focus on that license plate. You want to basically, remember it in your head so it's imprinted, so that, if they come around again, maybe you want to take off and have revenge, or just do the courtesy just to ring the police officer, maybe get them off the road while that car speeds off and drives past you. The one thing that maybe is going through your mind though at that given time though is the cussing words you wanted to, yell out to that particular person, that you feel to throw out the window at that person. After this incident has happened, your perception returns back to normal. You try to find a way to relax and continue your day regardless of what was happening beforehand, but you want to continue your day ahead of what's to come. Be it going to work, you have the meeting that you were supposed to be and you're running late due to that traffic and that incident that just happened as that key example. At one point or moment though, you've forgotten about it. Again, another one. Imagine if you were about being stuck and staying in that same dark and narrow place and in an alleyway with your mental illness. Or shall we say, dark place, narrow place. This is like for someone, obviously, as I've shared so many times before, certain signs of people suffering from mental illness, I should say, sorry. This is in some parts how I felt when I was met with this as a young girl, transitioning into a teenager, and now to a young woman. There were many times in my life that my thoughts and perceptions were so dark, limited, and was clouded over with certain, thoughts, and collapsed into a huge pile of junk. As my mind was sifting through the junk versus the good pile of mush. However, the negative thoughts or sweet lies of nothing came rushing back into my mind. As I said, that began to haunt me for a while and to haunt me. As I said before, depression became a friend of mine with that Dear Suicide and Dear Depression series, if you've been watching. All these words that started haunting me and taunting me of the ones that people may hear 9 times out of 10. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not brave enough. You're not worth enough. And the list continues. It doesn't matter if these were true or not, as these lies started to say as long as it could and wanted based on my choices. And if I chose that choice with these constricted limits on my thoughts and perception about everything in and about life around me. I thought to myself that I can't fight, breathe, basically, to live my life anymore. Being as young as I was in my early teens when I did suffer from depression, however, I was visited 3 times with depression and wanting to end my life 3 times. as I've shared my story. Certain thoughts comes into mind while this was all happening, as well as the flashbacks of my life as the young little girl that was full of energy and life, that was happy to the point of meeting this mental illness when it first came into my life. I'm forever grateful though that I didn't end my life to become that number or statistic, however. Those times I battled with, no, I wouldn't be here talking to you or sharing you my life stories or helping others to reach out to those ones that needs to be reached out before it's too late, knowing those signs. To go through all the struggles together and hopefully just be for that person, Not all days of mine aren't all traumatic, however. I've had my good days and bad days like many others that suffers from their mental illnesses. Yet I still face these demons now and again of my depression, social anxiety, panic attacks and the works. Yet I've decided to change that perception of mine of living. Despite this demon or demons, they will be there when they want to be there, to visit unexpectedly in my life like anyone else. I will some days look normal and act normal like every young woman or child should be, as well as that teenager transitioning to this young woman I am now today. Even being the quiet and shy one, even though now many people find me too talkative and the like, because now I'm coming out of my shell, trying to be me. And then now, obviously, as I'm coming out of the shell, I'm getting told to shut up and just, hold my thoughts and whatever else it may be. This is a problem with me right now, what I've experienced, because I'm trying to be me and try not to be someone who I'm not. And when I'm trying to be, I feel like that I've been snapshot and thrown into the box and left there, forgotten. No one would have known or guessed to how and what I was feeling if I wasn't telling you this today. I may have been that number or statistic, but again, by choice, I'm not or ain't. There are some days in my life with this little black dog that I have hovering behind me, or this little black shadow, basically, while I'm getting up in the morning. Basically, some days may become difficult than others. Yet when the sun shines through my window, sometimes I do feel like I'm letting time slip away. I feel afterwards though, with this mental illness that is there, regardless of the types that I've shared with you all, basically, that finding the right support from family and friends is enough for me. But I need to be aware with the ones that I call friends, because some are there for the good and bad, some are just there for the good, and some are just for the ride and just don't want to actually, walk the walk of my journey. I've noticed this now. Even though now, as I said before, my social circle is getting smaller. There are a lot of eager people wanting to talk about mental illnesses and suicide and the like, just as long as it's behind closed doors and kept hushed, yet and silencing their voice. I'm doing this differently, however, by sharing with you all my stories, life experiences, journey with all these mental health illnesses and the like. That's what I'm here today to do. And I'm hoping for others to do the same. There are many times in my life with those sweet nothings will come back to haunt and taunt me the same way it did when I was a young little girl transitioning to teenage, and when I first experienced mental illness and had that meet with me. I believe with the right attitude and thinking, however, after many attempts to end my life, that basically, I can go far and I have the potential. With all these I statements I have shared with you all, that I live with my life, I'll stand up against it and fight it and not let it win. There'll be times when others are suicidal, which I find that the missing word that they're looking for is hope for the ones that are, ending their lives, even though many people find that maybe hope isn't a right word for it, but to me, that's the right word for me, hope. I've shared with you all my life stories so far of what life was like with me, with suffering with my mental illness, how I basically go through it. There's some parts I may not have addressed right now, but I'm hoping to address later on when I feel the right time to do so. But with the word hope, you know that there's more to life than what you're facing and dealing with. Hope. You are the one in control of everything in your life. With hope, you are in charge of your thoughts, destiny, life, and future. With hope, you can change the world one day at a time, like I'm trying to with mine. We know that there's help along the way for many of us in anything. Again, it's based on our choices. Maybe it's time for us to take charge of our own mental health when we go to the doctors for our annual, weekly, bi-weekly, biannual physical checkup with the physical and psychological. We can change our ideas, conceptions, like the old idea, people commit suicide. I felt to say that this isn't worth doing though, however, to end your life. We need to change the way, as I said before, we think, and not changing. We can change the world, but with that changing the world, it's up to the other opposite person who we're trying to reach out to. We need to keep the hope alive, however, every single day. We need more leaders and more teachers and more, obviously, in this world to educate us, or just ourselves to become those leaders and teachers, however. So live one more day with this word and fight for it with this word hope, because at the end of the day there is life and it is worth living. Well, basically that ends suicide by suicide, a death with wish or sentence. Basically give me the like for the thumbs up for support and that you're engaging. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, for hopefully weekly or daily updates of what I've been up to, or hopefully to share with you all, basically. Because obviously right now I'm sharing with a variety of topics that I feel close to my heart to share, regardless what it is, basically. And hopefully I will be, able to just continue to share with you what's going down with my book journey, as well as maybe some parts there, maybe life as an author or what have you. Basically, feel free right now, as I feel in my heart, that some of these videos I've been sharing that is close to me, to share with others around you, be it your family, friends, co-workers and the like, so that hopefully that they know that regardless of it all, that there are people out there that cares and will support them regardless what it goes on in their lifetime, So without further ado, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Do what you love, do what you do, be kind to others. You never know what others are going through, obviously. Be patient with the ones that you're trying to reach out to, even though sometimes we need to be aware that we need to take a step back and actually be aware of what we need to do. So without further ado, guys, until next time, I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.